Have you ever wondered how a nation can transform from one of the poorest in the world into a global superpower in just a few decades? It sounds like the plot of a blockbuster movie, but it's the real-life story of China. This isn't just about skyscrapers and bullet trains. It's a tale of ambition, radical change, and a scale of human effort that's almost hard to comprehend. So, how did they do it? Let's dive into the incredible story of China's rise from poverty to power. To truly understand this transformation, we have to go back to the mid-20th century. After decades of turmoil, the People's Republic of China was founded in 1949. The country was devastated, its economy in ruins, and most of its massive population lived in extreme rural poverty. The Great Leap Forward, for example, aimed to rapidly industrialize the country but instead led to a catastrophic famine. The Cultural Revolution that followed caused immense social and political upheaval. By the late 1970s, China was isolated, its people were exhausted, and its economy was on the brink of collapse. The stage was set for a dramatic change. That change came in 1978 with Deng Xiaoping. Deng was a pragmatist. He famously said, "It doesn't matter if a cat is black or white as long as it catches mice." This simple phrase ushered in a new era of reform and opening up. Instead of rigid ideology, the focus shifted to practical results and economic growth. This was the spark that lit the fuse. China began to experiment with market-oriented reforms. It started small. In the countryside, the government dismantled the old collective farming system and allowed individual families to manage their own plots of land. For the first time in decades, farmers could sell their surplus produce on the open market. The results were immediate and staggering. Agricultural production skyrocketed, and millions were lifted out of poverty almost overnight. This success gave the leadership the confidence to go further. The next major step was the creation of Special Economic Zones, or SEZ, in coastal cities like Shenzhen. Back then, Shenzhen was just a small fishing village. These zones were designed as laboratories for capitalism. They offered tax incentives, streamlined regulations, and modern infrastructure to attract foreign investment. Global companies, hungry for low-cost labor, flocked in. Factories sprouted up, creating millions of manufacturing jobs for people migrating from the countryside. This was a pivotal moment. China effectively became the world's factory, producing everything from toys and textiles to electronics. The Made in China label became ubiquitous around the globe, and the profits from this export boom fueled the country's development. As money flowed in, China embarked on the largest infrastructure build-out in human history. Entire cities were constructed from scratch. They built a vast network of highways, the world's largest high-speed rail system, massive ports, and state-of-the-art airports. This wasn't just about looking modern, it was a strategic investment. This incredible infrastructure connected the country, lowered transportation costs, and made doing business in China even more efficient, creating a virtuous cycle of growth. This investment also created even more jobs and stimulated domestic demand, further powering the economic engine. Education was another critical pillar of this strategy. The government understood that to move up the value chain, you need a skilled workforce. They poured resources into education, from primary schools to universities. The literacy rate soared. Each year, China's universities began graduating millions of engineers, scientists, and technicians. This created a deep pool of human capital that allowed China to transition from simple manufacturing to more advanced sectors like technology and research and development. It is this focus on human talent that laid the groundwork for the tech giants that would soon emerge. And emerge they did. While the world was focused on Silicon Valley, a parallel tech universe was booming in China. Companies like Alibaba, Tencent, and Huawei went from small startups to global behemoths. Unlike many Western companies, they innovated for the unique Chinese market, creating super apps like WeChat that combine messaging, social media, and payment systems all in one. The government played a key role here, both by protecting its nascent tech industry from foreign competition and by actively supporting its growth through policy and investment. The rise of this domestic tech ecosystem was a clear sign that China was no longer content with just being the world's factory. It wanted to be the world's laboratory and design studio, too. Of course, this rapid development wasn't without its problems. The relentless focus on growth led to severe environmental consequences, like air and water pollution, that became a major public concern. The gap between the rich, urban coastal areas and the poorer, rural inland regions grew wider. The state-led model, while effective in directing resources, also led to concerns about debt, overinvestment, and a lack of transparency. These are challenges that China's leadership is still grappling with today as they try to shift towards a more sustainable and balanced model of growth. Looking at China today, it's a nation transformed. It has the world's second-largest economy, is a leader in fields like artificial intelligence and renewable energy, and has a growing military and diplomatic influence on the world stage. It lifted over 800 million people out of poverty, an achievement unprecedented in human history. The journey from the desperate poverty of the 1970s to the global power of the 21st century is a complex story. It's a mix of pragmatic policy, strategic state planning, the immense scale and hard work of its people, and a unique willingness to experiment with a hybrid socialist market economy. The rise of China has fundamentally reshaped our world, and its story is far from over. Understanding this journey is essential to understanding the dynamics of the 21st century. What do you think is the most surprising part of China's story? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. If you found this journey through modern history interesting, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into the forces that shape our world. See you next time.